Saggies! Hi, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hello, my friends. How are you doing? It is so good to tune into your energies. It took me a little while to come back into the readings because I have not been sleeping well these past 2 weeks. Really crazy energies. I bet you felt some of this as well. What I got for you, Sagittarius, but today what I'm meaning to say is it just feels right and it feels so good to come back into your energies. So, you've seen a lot, Sagittarius, lots of magic in your life. And there may have been a time, quite recently actually, for some of you, that made you forget about that magic. And it is time for you right now to bring back these magical times, Saggies. So it's like, for example, when we're looking at the water, right? Wild and free. When we're looking at the water, let's say water bubbles rising up from the inside, from when you're under the water, and then the water bubbles are rising up to the surface, and the sun is shining through, and the light is fractured. That is like miraculous stuff that is happening. You're touching a tree, or you're watching like the sunlight going through the trees, through the leaf of the trees. That is magical. And there may have been a time for some of you quite recently where you have forgotten just that, like how many wonders the world has to offer for you. I pre-shuffled all of your cards, and in the pre-shuffle, this is what came out. You have the guide, a guide, mentor, a trustworthy ally. And I'll get right into that, but they're just reminding me that I forgot something. First of all, my throat chakra was acting up. So there's something throat, like the ability, or, the allow yourself to speak up. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to speak up, Saggies. This is super, super important for you right now. Allow yourself to draw those healthy boundaries that you're really in need of, not just you, but all of us. That's really important. Some of you may have, when it comes to the table setup, you may have really started to take good care of yourself and putting yourself first, which is really important, especially when you're starting to be immersed in energy work, because you just need to come first. If you're not first, for example, if I hadn't taken those days where I didn't feel like doing it because I didn't have the energy, if I did it anyways, you wouldn't have benefited from it. Neither would I have benefited from it. You're going to burn yourself out, and you don't want this. And I don't think that's what's happening here for you. Sorry, the booklet just dropped. Let me see. It's still open though on this page. I just noticed, speaking of burning out, that the candles have gone out, but there's a bit of wind here. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, light them properly. We can try again, but there's a good chance that they're just blown out, but we'll see. It's so much prettier in the reading though. We'll put the sage to the side because of course I cleansed all of your space. So you have the guide, my dear Saggies, and I want to read this to you. So the message is a guide, mentor, a trustworthy ally. When working with spirit guides, we have noticed you are often encouraged by your spiritual teachers to hand over your trust and your own guidance systems to the invisible gurus. In some cases, this can be worthwhile. In others, the very best guides are those who create strength within you and who never seek to overtake your own willpower and your own mindset. And this couldn't be more true. In my book, you really want to test whoever you're working with, being that in the spirit world, also when it comes to boundaries, you want to set those boundaries. Those are very, very essential. Or in the human world, you really want to know who you're working with. What are they doing? Of course, people are changing, right? So you want to have an occasional check-in there too. We are encouraging you to ask questions, observe, and to examine the suggestions and the insights they offer you. There are quality guides, and there are ones who may not be offering a good frequency match for you. And this may change over time too, even for you as you evolve. Saggies, you may step out of one frequency. For example, if you're watching readers, you probably have noticed that you will not stick to like the same group of readers, but that will change, or that your guides may even be bringing in different readers, different information for you that is necessary at this time. So watch out for those signs and for those guides. Hi, Katsita. Even we must sometimes check in and discuss with others, for we so often trust more willingly than is wise. Yes. And please don't say yes when you actually feel a no. This is super important. Don't be too polite here either. That's so important. That's like a tough, or can be a really tough lesson to be learned. And I believe some of you have really taken the hard road when it comes to that. You really burned yourself a couple of times in order to now be like, no, I'm not even going like 1 inch down that road. And I totally love it. I absolutely love it. To some of you, now that I'm looking at the card, there could be someone around you. So really check the ones that are around you, because teachers and guides come in different ways and forms, and they can also come in the shape of people that are quite manipulating, quite, trying to take you down the wrong way. It's not for your benefit, but for theirs. And you want to be mindful right now of this, okay? Ah, yeah. And also know that your guide may not be in agreement with you. That truly, like the ocean and her strength and her tides and currents and rips and waves, she or he may challenge you greatly. But it is often through these challenges that you are taught. Simply be sure they are not feeding off your energy or overwhelming your own energy field or your own mental, emotional, and spiritual independence. This is super, super important. Definitely. Like my private readings are also set up that way, that it's here to empower. So often it's giving you more of what you actually need rather than what you think you want. This is very, very interesting. So it always like gives the higher view of things. It's very interesting. And often people then would start crying, right? Because it's so on point and they can feel that this is true. Yeah. So you have the moon, my dear Sagittariuses. Uh, there's something that is still hidden from you. Yep, that's it. And it's interesting because we have twos here. Almost felt like Gemini energy. This one, no. Almost felt like Gemini energy with these two here, with the guide, right? To some of you, you could even have a twin. But it's interesting that these two towers show up here. And what I'm getting is something karmic, a karmic bond between these two. And it's about, you're about to discover something about this connection with this person. Now, this person may no longer be like physically with you or physically in your life, yet they still have some sort of an effect on you. Now, this could have been a parent that mistreated you, or a partner, or a brother, or your twin, who knows, right? And I'm seeing that you're starting to separate yourself from this, or you already have separated yourself from this person, and you're now walking your own path. And this was quite the tough journey, because what else they're letting me know right now is, how you were in the water at first and you had that mermaid tail, right? And this reminds me very much of Ariel, who, is actually losing her voice. This is interesting. We were talking about the throat chakra. She's losing her voice. She's given her voice to, and again, they're showing it to me here too. Yeah, interesting. Huh. How Ursula is capturing her voice in a seashell around her neck, right? So she's paying a price so that she can become a human being. And this to me speaks volumes with regards to, you must have paid a price, first of all, to be here on Earth. It must have cost you something, coming from, you may have been, reincarnated from Lemuria or from Atlantis. You may have a really, really strong connection to water. And it's also indicated that you, surround yourself with water a bit more, a lot more actually, that you really indulge in the water, because there are messages that want to come through like from the water. And water is like a memory bank, right? The earth is covered with water. It's like a huge memory bank that you can tap yourself into with regards to your past, but also your future, is what they're saying. Coming back to the thing that it cost you something, and now you're walking this plane. This relationship or this breaking away from this person may have also cost you something, but you're rediscovering it. What I'm getting here, you're rediscovering it, but in a much bigger way, Sagittarius, or you have, depending on where you are in your journey. But I believe most of you are still yet to come into this, where you all of a sudden, it's like almost a tower moment. When this card first came out, I thought it was a tower card, but it's not. It just has the two towers here, and you're walking straight through it. It's just like a revelation that's going to change something within your perception, but in a big way. It's like rediscovering your voice, but this time it's coming from somewhere else. if that makes any sense. It's coming from a deeper place, a much deeper, a much more authentic place, no longer being codependent here, no longer, you know, running after false gurus, running after false flames is what I'm just hearing. So some of you may have thought you were in a twin flame connection that is then being revealed to you as a false flame connection. Or if you thought this was like the one for you, or just like your best friend, and you thought this was a soulmate connection, it actually wasn't. And this is being revealed to you, and it's going to help you break away and walk your own path. Because this was, you know, don't condemn whatever has happened to you here. If you can, if that's the energies that you're in right now, go right ahead, stay in them, you know, feel the feelings and then move on. But you need to feel the feelings first. Like, don't not feel your feelings. This is like the key here. And yeah, the new is already here for you, Sagittarius. The new is already here. I'm really curious what that revelation entails and where this is taking you, because that's what we haven't seen yet. But we will ask about this in your extended if you're interested. You can follow us over to Patreon, where we'll be pulling more cards, most likely from this gorgeous deck here. But we'll see whatever Spirit wants to bring through for you. I'm sending you so much love, light, and shadow. And I really, really hope that this was helpful to you in some way. And yeah, I'll see you over there or next time, my dear Saggies. Bye-bye.